Hello and welcome back to the Authentic Creative, expanding your capacity to feel good. I am your host, Siri Baruch Thornton, and today we have Tracy Litt here, the incredible Tracy Litt. You guys, in case you don't know who Tracy Litt is, which I imagine you do, but she is the founder of the Lit Factor and the School of Becoming, an international best-selling author, podcast host, and expert in blending science, spirituality, and emotional healing. With certifications in professional coaching, neurology, somatics, and hypnotherapy, she helps women evolve into their next level selves through her core curriculum, Mind Magic. Her journey from single mother on food stamps to CEO of a seven-figure personal growth company drives her mission to show others their limitless potential. Tracy's TEDx talk, Dear Fear, It's Not You, It's Me, and her best-selling book, Worthy Human, have inspired countless individuals. Named one of Success Magazine's top 125 global thought leaders in 2022, she is committed to elevating visionary leaders and creating lasting transformations. You guys can find her on theschoolofbecoming.com. Anywhere else you want them to find you?
At the Tracy Litt on Instagram.
Okay. So, Tracy, I had the pleasure of getting to hug you recently in LA at Kathy Heller's Summit. Okay, my favorite moment was hugging you. First of all, you have the most incredible, if you ever have a chance to hug Tracy Litt, do it. The best hugger.
Thank you.
It just lit up my heart. That was one of the best moments of the whole summit. And then also, I just want to say, you may know that Tracy, when she's on stage and when she's teaching, she's often barefoot. And I know that's just like a little side note, but honestly, like that says so much to your authenticity, to your groundedness, to your mission, like who you are. You're like this woman walking her path, on her path, walking in her truth, like fully connected to the earth. And I love that so much. And then my other favorite thing, yes, everything you say is gold, but my favorite thing was you and Kathy singing Indigo Girls.
It was awesome. That was the awesome part, yes.
Right? I mean, I was like, can I just listen? Because you were like, we could just do this the whole time and you'd get just as much out of it. And I was like, yes, please. Could you just have a concert? Because I would love to hear the two of you sing for an hour, at least, or 2 hours.
Our songstress part of our relationship started when we were at a Dr. Joe retreat together for a week in Vail, and we were taking a break and we were sitting on this huge rock that was overlooking this creek, and we just both started singing, and we're like, oh, you sing? Oh, you sing? And then it was like, oh, let's go. And we were just fucking belting it out. Like, it was great. We went all the way back to Debbie Gibson, like my sixth grade talent show performance song.
Oh, which Debbie Gibson song is this? Do you remember?
Lost in Your Eyes.
Okay.
So like old school, and yeah, all the way through Indigo Girls and Carole King, and we were doing all of it.
Oh my gosh. I love that. So maybe just put it in, if it hasn't already been planted, the seed of you guys doing a concert together.
Seed planted.
Because I feel like people would want to hear this. Okay. So really, this is the reason I asked you to come on to the Authentic Creative is because I'm so much about breath work and nervous system regulation, and this is something you're an expert in and you know a lot about. So you have this unique approach that blends science and spirituality and emotional healing. And my question for you, Tracy, is how do you see this combination of somatics and embodiment and nervous system regulation help expand our capacity to feel good? Like, especially when it comes to connecting with our deepest selves and our potential, like being the authentic creators that we are.
What's so beautiful about the way you just asked that is the answers in the question, because in order to expand your capacity, it's not about holding, it's about allowing. And in order to expand that capacity and open more and be more allowing, you must be embodied. And in order to be embodied, you have to be in your body to be able to do that. So the way I see this, all like what makes it so important and what makes the completeness and the marriage of the work that we do so effective is because it puts you back in your body. And that is the only place that expanded capacity can actually occur. And this is a big deal because it doesn't happen in the mind. It doesn't even happen because you recognize that you're a spiritual being. That's part of it, right? Your ability to let go and trust in the universe as your safety net and the thing that's bigger than you and treat yourself like energy, all the things that, right, we all jam out on. But the ability to expand your capacity and allow so that the capacity can grow so that you can generate and experience more happens at the level of the body and whether or not your nervous system is available to tolerate that expansion.
Talk more, if you would, about tolerating that expansion, because that's interesting.
Yeah, so the nervous system will only allow what it perceives as safe based on the imprint of it. So I like to use the word tolerate because I find it to be a great word. Right? All of a sudden you're like, oh fuck, what? Right? And it's not like what you think you can tolerate. It's like, how safe does your system feel? Let's use visibility because it's such a pervasive, common, great one. If the imprint of your nervous system doesn't feel safe with you shining like your disco ball and being fully expressed, it won't tolerate that behavior from you, meaning it won't allow it. It won't let you be omnipresent and hit live on Facebook and just riff on what your convictions are. It won't allow you to put out the offers the way that you want and command the energetic exchange of the revenue that your services deserve, because toleration at the level of your nervous system is allowance. And if it doesn't feel safe, it will not tolerate it. So as we
Okay.
play, right? Are you with me? I'll pause. Tell me.
Follow up question for you
Yeah,
is
go ahead.
for me personally,
Yeah.
I feel that I'm okay being mostly visible,
Yep.
but then where I see the block for me, and maybe others can relate to this, is there's something in me not allowing myself to get paid more.
Okay, stay there. I'm not allowing myself to get paid more because
I think it has to do with responsibility and thinking that I'm gonna burn out because I've hustled in the past.
beautiful, beautiful. So let's remove the I think it is because that's one of the ways that your system buffers against you finding the
Like,
honesty
I
and
know,
presence. You
okay.
know fucking damn well that's what it is. Great. Like let's see it. Let's look at it. Let's be with it. Like it's so
Yeah.
important. We love there's like these little language things that we all like play with, like I think, or maybe it's like, no, just cut that out and say the thing, right?
Yes, 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 yes.
So there's a fear of too much responsibility, and with responsibility means you got to work harder, and not hard in like the amount of hard we do need to work, because I think that gets a bad rap too. But like you're going to have to hustle or burn out, so we don't want to get to that level. Blah 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 blah.
Yeah, like I have to hold shit for
Yes,
people and it's gonna
yes.
drain me and make me sick and yeah.
Right, right, right. So that is the level of awareness, and that's the match for where your nervous system currently is. So it's both, and the fun thing about the nervous system is it's both the brain and the body. So none of this is like, oh, well, then fuck the mind. That's not the game either. It's a combination, knowing that 80% of your thinking is driven from your body to your mind, and then they play tennis, right? So once the body throws something to the mind, if you're not a mind magician yet, which is something we teach you so well, like just stop believing you're thinking, just like stop it. Learn how to think in the direction of what you say you want, and everything changes. But hold on, my brain just went into two places. What were we just saying?
There's
Oh,
so much wisdom happening. Okay.
yeah. It's cool. It's right here. So, and then it plays tennis, right? So when your body throws up that thought, like your nervous system's like, absolutely not. You're not going to receive, if your nervous system could talk. No, absolutely not. You are not going to be extending that offer at that amount of money because, right? And then it shoots up all of those thoughts because you have neurotags that are connected to all of these experiences and all of these emotions and all of these traumas and all of these situations. So
That are memorized in your body.
that are memorized in your body and your brain. That's what a neurotag is. Imagine like a tag and it's like, boom, okay, I know what more success and more money, and it activates that. And then the tennis match happens where you then start to feel how you think and you think how you feel and you feel how you think and you think how you feel. And it just keeps going. And that's what makes evolving out of it so important, because you do great work. And it is not cool and it is not of service for you not to be making great fucking money.
Right. Yeah.
Right? So
Yeah.
this is where the journey, where it comes to specifically the uniqueness and the differentiator of what coming into the school is the completeness of the methodology. There is no stone unturned. Like you said, it is consciousness, it is neuroscience, it is emotional agility and expression. It is fear work. It is, understanding how to actively, actually untether from that neurotag and start to develop new neurons that wire together and new narratives and a new sense of safety to receive inside of your body, because
Yeah.
you deserve it.
Yeah. We all deserve to supersede these unconscious ways of being that are stopping us from our next level. And I'm really curious about the way you use breath work and and how the power of breath work, like how the breath work can override these tags.
Yeah, sure. So there's a couple things, because I see breath work as a I have the word breathe tattooed on my wrist, right? The
Love
breath
it.
is the mechanism into the body, period. So when I hear breath work, I want us to expand and make sure that we're including everything, because you're saying, how do we use it, right? Breath work is both different rate, depths, and patterns of our breath so that we can activate the vagus nerve, so that we can bring ourselves into rest and digest, so we can experience a regulation, a grounding, right? All the way through, like the luscious breath work that you did with me, right? This holotropic tile breath work where we're really intensifying and we're turning up the heat, right? And we're doing the one breath kind of cycle breathing or other variations, which I don't have to tell you your work in the world, so that we can move shit up and out, right? So
Yeah.
there's so much under breath as a category. And there's so many magical ways to use it. And when you understand foundationally, the breath is the mechanism into the body. Whether
Yes.
you're using it to alternate nostril breathe, which allows you to just like, whoo, shut that mind off. You are in your body. You are like, oh my God, did I just lay at the spa for 17 hours? This is phenomenal. Or we're moving over to the other side of it and we're using it as an activation to heat it up and shake shit up and start to move stuff up and out. It is everything essential, key, required. Like there is no sustainable growth and transformation without the use of the breath.
I love it so much. You just reminded me of something I want to ask you, which
Yeah.
is, so I have students, breathwork students that I'll say at the end, so how are you feeling? How did it go? And they're like, yeah, it like kicked up a lot for me. And I say, well, did you do the primal? I call it a sounding because some people, the primal scream is like too intense.
Yeah, yeah.
So I'm like, how did the primal sounding go? Well, I forgot to do it. So it's interesting how many people, and I like to say, this is your sports game. Like, let's go. You don't ask permission at a sports game if you can scream.
Yeah.
So what is it? Well, I guess I get why people don't want to scream, why they don't feel comfortable, because it's been conditioned in them that they're not safe to do it. But it's like, how can we get them to understand how important this is to get that primal scream or that primal sounding, to vibrate it like the instrument their body is, to vibrate it out for no reason at all. Just get it out of the system. Like, I really want that my students to like get like this is the deal. Like this is the most cathartic piece of it, right?
God, when I go into which now I do like all the time. It's once you change the imprint of your nervous system to tolerate how your next level identity functions in the world, you won't even remember what your old identity is like. And I keep saying identity because that's what the school of becoming is, and that's what everything is. And this is actually a really important point. This is typically like I don't love the word why, but this is typically why I say in quotes, someone isn't where they want to be, even though they've been playing in personal growth or spirituality for a long time, because they're not actually changing the root cause, which is their identity. And the identity is the cornerstone of your reality, because in your identity lives your nervous system imprint and your belief structure and your program and your conditioning and the language you use and the energy you emit and the thoughts you allow and, you know, your habits and behaviors and all of those things.
Yeah.
So when I primal sound, to use your beautiful language, it is like, fuck yes. It is like I am healing my daughters and I'm healing my grandmothers. Like,
Yes.
it's just like,
I
let's
love it.
fucking go. And it's fast. It's
Yeah.
fast and effective. So a few things. You're an animal.
Right.
Okay, it's like there's, because we've been so suppressed and oppressed, and we live in a world that has no fucking desire for you to be connected to your body, like at all. In actual fact, the world that we exist in currently is built to keep you disconnected from your body, right? So recognizing, okay, wait a minute, I am an animal, and there are some really important like needs in this primalness of the truth of what I originated from, you know, that is asking of me to play with it a little bit more, right? And I like always using play because levity is one of my highest values, but also of the schools. Like it's the fear that your nervous system is putting off because it feels so unsafe to emote or to scream or to sound, is kind of going back to the top of our call, going, okay, wait a minute. So if I'm not doing it, right, if I show up and then I talk to you and I go, oh, I didn't do the primal sounding, there's nothing wrong with you. It's not a willpower issue. There's no fault. It's, oh, wow, it means that my nervous system's imprint currently doesn't want to tolerate that. Cool. This is big because it makes me very sad and angry when people make themselves wrong because they perceive that they should be able to do it. But really, we just need a little biological education on what's happening and why there's so much resistance that's going on, right? There's nothing wrong with you. You have a perfectly functioning wiring system. That's fucking great. So going, okay, so I understand it's the imprint of the nervous system. So what really causes that? Volatile households and upbringings.
Yeah.
Parents that screamed and yelled at each other as a form of communication,
Yeah.
any level of abuse, emotional, mental, physical, right?
Yeah, when you said to our audience at the summit, you're like, so who grew up in a volatile household? And everyone raised their hand.
Right. And that's the thing. That's why I'm like so crazy about my work. And I love to talk about it because it's our generation that has to show up and do this to
Yeah.
change what's going on in our world. And it's not
Yeah.
even our parents and our grandparents and those that came before them. Like, that we don't live in the same world. They were up against so much hardship. They were right up against a world that had no conversations like this. We're having a public
Yeah.
conversation
Well, that
about
was,
shit that you would have been hung for
yeah, that was
150
one of the
years
things I
ago.
want to ask you, Tracy. Thank you
Yeah,
for reminding me, is like,
sure.
when did you even first hear, I know we're going backwards, but
Great,
when
great,
did you
great.
first hear the words nervous system regulation? Because this is new.
You know what's interesting? My TED talk that I did in February of 2020, right before the world shut down,
Yeah.
I talked all about it in its relationship with fear. So my first real understanding was after I left out of the corporate job, which I think we talked about last time, and I was, you know, in fear for all those years. And then I was like, what was that? And I started studying around 2016, 2017. I started studying risk and risk perception and the biology of fear.
Yeah.
In starting to study the biology of fear, the basic science of the nervous system was in every book I read, in every rabbit hole on the internet I went down, right? In anything, it was like, okay. So that's when it got introduced, and I started to introduce it in my teachings like in around 2019. And then when I did my TED talk and I explained what fear really is and how to play with your nervous system so that you can love it and do the things you're called to do. That's
Yeah.
really when I started to get down on it. And I've only continued my studies since then.
Yeah, and now it's more mainstream.
Yes, now it's mainstream, which is amazing, but also not mainstream. We think
Yeah.
it's mainstream
We think it is because we're in the world of
because
talking about it.
we choose a world of consciousness, and we choose, and our algorithms know that. And right, so but the truth of the matter is that it is anything but mainstream, and the masses are very asleep. And when we can have conversations like this and it keeps kind of tracking, right? Even when, like when I got to serve at It's Her Turn Summit, and then I went on to serve at the Millionaire Founders Club for the CEO School 2 days later in Arizona, we're having all these conversations. It doesn't matter if you are a fresh entrepreneur, right? You're like all the women I got to serve last week, from side hustle up into her first 6 figures, all the way through running a large team and selling companies at $1 billion, right? And building new companies, all of that spectrum, right? Of all women founders and women leaders. And the light bulbs that go off when I talk about the nervous and they go, oh my God, that's the missing piece. Oh my God, now I fucking understand. Holy shit, I feel like the jigsaw puzzle finally just came together because I've been doing some gratitude and I've been doing a little meditation and I've been doing a little bit of this, but like, we have to move out of that world where we go, like, I know it. And you point to your head, but I don't like know it in my body. It's embodiment time.
Yeah. Yeah, it's so true. So, what role does the body play in transforming our mindset and achieving this emotional healing that we need?
It's everything. It's the gate. It's do not pass go or collect $200. Like it's
everything.
It is everything. It is everything, right? So being able to relate to your body, talk to your body, which is where, let me just give a how, where do you begin on this journey? The simplicity, do not underestimate the simplicity and effectiveness of consciously starting to build a relationship with your body, of like talking to it, relating to it.
Yeah.
Right? Because even when we talk about like somatics or whatever, you might be like, okay, I'm going to shake. And that's great. So I always love just do something.
Like you came out onto stage and you were like,
shake your tits. Did you know that massaging your breasts is a nervous system regulation process?
No.
Yeah, my husband loves that one. He's always like, do you need any help today? I'm like, oh, sure. But so even if you're like pulling out a somatic practice, let's say, but if you're not actually relating to your body, it's less effective. Like know what you're doing, why you're doing it. Be talk like I'm talking to you, hi body. Right, closing your eyes, putting your hand on your heart. I love you, thank you, it's safe. Like, what do you need? How are you? Like you are carrying this whole show, not only physically, like as in my legs walking to stage to do, right? My hands writing, typing, like your body's your fucking all-star.
Yeah. Two things I want to insert here.
Go.
One is we were so much about ascension and like coming out of the body and like being these like spiritual beings that are so enlightened for so long. And now we're coming back into this embodiment era, like you're talking about, right? It's like marrying these. And then the other thing is I was just thinking about birthing my second son because I birthed both my sons at home, and birthing my second son, I was like so into saying yes every time I had a contraction and relating to the pain, because I know you love talking about pain too, is like relating to the pain is like every time I felt that contraction, I was yes, body. And then everyone, my mom and my doulas, they were like saying it with me. They were like, yes, body. So I didn't full on like have an orgasmic home birth, but it was, it was like we were chanting, yes, body, I love you, body, good job, body. So that was powerful. That was a powerful experience. And you're just reminding me, like, how about every day I say yes, body?
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Especially as you are making a decision to evolve out of the identity that used to connect success and wealth with responsibility and burnout.
Yeah.
Your new identity, right, has a different experience of that, a different safety, a different excitement, right? Oh, with more wealth and responsibility comes more receptivity, comes more support, comes more team, right? Comes more goddessness. Do you
Mm.
feel the shift in that?
Yes, when I woke up this morning and I was thinking about you, I was like, how does Tracy get up every morning knowing she has this massive mission that she's going to affect so many women? Like, you probably get so excited to step out of bed. And I was like, oh my God, I have to do things today. Like, I'm like, how does Tracy do this every morning? Like, so when you first wake up, like, what's your first thought?
Well, that's such a good question. It depends. My mornings are not some I feel like if I was born now, I would be diagnosed with ADHD for sure. Do you know what I'm
Okay.
saying? Like
Yeah.
I really thrive on diversity and mixing shit up. So my mornings are not identical, other than all the morning is spacious. Like I don't serve until 10 a.m. if it's something really important. If not, 11 a.m. is like my earliest because I like to just do my thing.
I relate to that. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So my first thought typically, and then I'll share some other things that I think are important for your listeners. My
Yeah.
first thought typically is thank you.
Mm,
And first it was conscious, and then it became a beautiful habit. Just thank you.
yeah.
Thank you. Like even, I feel so good to feel. Um, Last night when I was falling asleep, I was thinking, because the thoughts that we don't say out loud are we're still talking to ourselves.
Yeah.
And I was thinking to myself, I'm like, I feel so grateful. I'm in the yummiest bed. I have such a soft blanket. Like, this is just so great.
Mhm.
Like a true depth of gratitude,
Yeah.
not because something great happened,
Yeah.
but because every day is an ordinary miracle.
Yeah.
So
I've
typically,
been doing that before bed, just stream of
yeah,
consciousness. I'm so grateful for this, and it'll feel so good.
it feels so good. It feels so good. So typically it's thank you. And then um, on some mornings, like actually yesterday, I had a really hard entrepreneurial day.
Yeah.
Like I had some shit at me. I was like, I couldn't even move it. I was on the floor of my office, tantruming, shaking, screaming, breathing, like doing a sound bowl thing in my ears, laying on a Shakti mat. I was doing all the things. Because yesterday I woke up and my thoughts were stressful,
Mm, hmm.
right? So much going on. What's happening with team? Is this going to work? You're doing a huge event next year. Like just blah, 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 blah.
And you're
And
connected to the universe too, so you're feeling like solar flares and whatever eclipse is happening, the moon and like the ocean. You're feeling all of it.
yes, yeah. So what's important and why I really want to share this, number one, is we all have limited thinking that arises at some point.
Yeah.
The key is, do you believe it? And because
Mm,
I am the creator of the work I teach, I sense that I was like, oh, and I was like, that's so interesting. Oh, that's a good one. Oh, that's a good one. Yeah, okay. Okay, got it. And I don't believe any of my thinking. I will acknowledge it like, oh, okay, okay, okay. All right. Yeah, I see you. And that's nice try. And then I leave it.
hmm.
This is big. I don't become it. This is part of what we teach you in Mind Magic, how to do this. I don't become it. I don't sit and go, oh, let's talk about it and give the limitation more airtime. I just like go, oh, yeah, all right. And I let it be there, up there. And then I go to the body, which is why I was working all that shit out because I knew that those thoughts were being driven by whatever clunky, chunky, sticky energy was in my system. And to attempt to work your quote mindset without addressing what is happening in your body is useless. And I need you to stop it. You would be better off doing no mindset work at all if
Hmm.
you are not willing to play with the cleanness and the clarity of your body.
and its wisdom is just so profound. I
Yeah,
feel like we've just been taught not to trust our bodies
of
for
course. We've been
very,
taught not to
like,
trust ourselves.
yeah,
Of
that's
course.
bullshit, right? Oh my
Course.
gosh.
That's why the mission we're on, right? The new world, women back in their bodies, being unabashedly, unapologetically, fully expressed, having unarmored hearts and leading with love and not internalizing and operating from their wholeness and fucking together we rise. Like, come on. That's your
'Cause
contribution to this world. And you're not going to do it by half-assing it or not fully committing to your identity evolution. That's your contribution. I need everyone to step up. And I'm literally sitting here. I'm literally sitting, here's the answer. Here's the literal answer. Hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of women before you. 100% efficacy. No chargebacks, no refunds, no fuckery, because the work is so good. And still, part of you will let your mind lead and be like, oh, but I can, and I don't know, and the time and the money, and it's just bullshit. So there's that.
I love you.
I love you too.
You say, oh, thank you. You say that everything you want wants you. So how does shifting, and we're going to wrap up, but how does shifting to this mindset transform a person's approach to their goals and challenges?
Oh my God, that's such a good question. Okay, so I'm gonna let you guys experience it. Okay, so just take a deep breath in. If you're driving, don't close your eyes. If you're not driving, totally close your eyes. Let's do one more since this is your show. And allow yourself to open your chest a little bit, pop your shoulders back, like heart up to the universe. And I want you to repeat after me audibly or silently. Everything I want wants me. Everything I want wants me. And I want you to notice that you relax a little bit. I want you to notice that there's a little shift in ease and lightness that comes in. Everything I want wants me. Everything I want wants me. Which means everything is actively making its way toward me. Because everything I want exists in potentials. And it's out there, it's available, and it wants me too. So as I'm open-armed running towards it, it's running towards me. Well, that feels easier when I can let go of the control a little bit more. And I can keep my chest open and say thank you in advance. Because if it's in me, it's for me.
Yeah.
There we go.
We should end there because that's beautiful.
Yeah, yeah. And the priority inside of that is to become the version of you who is currently living, loving, feeling, and experiencing all of those wants and desires as if it's happening in reality, and learning how to be her, embody her, feel her, emit her, sense her now before the third dimension catches up, right? Like Kathy talks about before it 3D prints, you have to become her. So
Yeah. Thank you, Tracy, for doing the inner work every day to show up for us in this incredibly powerful way that we can remember our power. Thank you.
you're welcome. I received that deeply. Thank you.
I just appreciate your work. I appreciate you. I appreciate your deep authenticity, your commitment, like your very, very serious commitment, but also your amusement with all of it. It's just incredible. And it's such an honor to get time with you. It is such a gift. And I mean, this is just, You've made my month, and I love you so much. And I can't wait to do more work with you and for everyone to get on board with embodiment work
Yes.
and
Yes.
the mind magic.
That's right. That's right. And may I say, we haven't announced it yet, but I'll announce it here.
Ooh,
We are doing Mind Magic Live this year in 2025. Which
okay.
means, so you always have the invitation to come into Mind Magic. We do 2 semesters, virtual, stunning, fabulous semesters every year, spring and fall, 10-week gorgeous journey. The week of April 7th, Monday through Friday, I will be taking a group of women who, if that women might be all of you, through the entire identity evolution methodology live in the room over the course of 5 days. So you will walk in as who you are and you will leave embodied in your next level. And it is the immersion that you need.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Two of the women I roomed with in LA are in your mind magic and they're loving it.
Yay.
Yeah, yeah, it's good.
I love that.
All right. Well, Tracy, I can't wait to do more breath work with you. I love you so much. Thank you
Thank you,
guys for
Angie.
listening. Please continue to expand your capacity to feel good. Reach out to Tracy if you have questions on Instagram or go to theschoolofbecoming.com. Obviously, you can see how incredibly wise and powerful Tracy's work is. So get on that, and I'll see you guys next time.
Thank you. Mwah.